All right, folks, few things you need to know about muskrat trapping. You never go without coffee and donuts, but the only downside is it's spring break in Bozeman this week, so half the joints are closed. Probably can't even get gas in town this week. But then we got to stop at the grocery store and buy some muskrat bait. And I know some of you are probably wondering, well, what do you use for muskrat bait? We'll show you. 6 pounds of carrots and 2 maple bars. Like that, huh? You don't even need organic carrots. It says wash before use, so scrats, they don't care. All right, first trapper's trick. A lot of you people are wondering, how can it be 3 degrees and trappers don't get cold feet? You buy a waders or a hip boot that's about 2 sizes too big. Then you put a felt liner in there, like the felt liners from your pack boots. If I do spring a leak or get a little over my boot, the felt liner soaks up all the moisture. Pull it out at night, put it over the heater vent. I got warm feet, even though it's 3 degrees out. Couple things you need to know about trapping. See those copper tags? Every trap needs to have a tag on it. It has your, in Montana, it has your trapper ID number. That way if something happens, they can get a hold of you. So, some of you may not even know how a trap works. There's springs in there, you push it off to the side, and you open it up. I hate doing this when it's that cold, but you see this trigger right here? There's a little mechanism right there. This is just a little fiberglass fencing rod. And this is what the carrot's gonna go on. So the carrot is gonna go on that little pin right there, and the stake is gonna go in the water. But before you do that, take one of these trap platforms and you squeeze it. You can see where these rust marks are on here. Run that through there. Don't forget to run that through there. I forget that a lot. Now this trap has spots in it where this little clip goes right in there perfectly. And you slide that in there and you push this in the water just like that. And it'll go, and you want the water level to be about right up here. So you put it slightly under the water and you put your bait, and you'll see this in action. You put your bait just above the trap. Muskrat, he's swimming along, he's like, boy, I love carrots. And he comes up here and his front legs go over and he steps. I'm not gonna put my finger in there because my hands are cold. But when he steps on this, you'll see what happens. He gets caught. And then he wiggles a little bit and he slides off. And this trap weighs more than he can swim with. So within about a minute or two, he's down there in the bottom and it's all over. The muskrat like the deeper parts of the creek. They like the deeper, slower parts because, one, better food there, better security habitat for them, and they can destroy more of the creek if it's deeper. And I'll get through, we'll start walking around some of this stuff. I'll show you what I mean when I say the muskrat destroys the creek. That's part of why I come out to these places. The reason that they end up with such super high densities at these times of year is because the rivers are frozen, the ponds are frozen, and there's really not good food and good habitat. They can make a living under the ice, but they would way rather come to these spring creeks. And I'm gonna show you the damage they cause, because you have this artificial density of ridiculous numbers of muskrats that normally are dispersed across the landscape. Well, in the winter, January, February, March, they're all in these very, very narrow areas, and you can catch a lot of them in a hurry. You see how that bank is eroded over there? A lot of that's from muskrats. This stream has been reclaimed many years ago by the landowner. He did it for water quality, waterfowl habitat, upland bird habitat, and he gets such a density of muskrats in here this time of year that they come along the water line, and the easiest place for them to feed is where they have exposed roots or unfrozen ground. Well, right at the water line, it's warm enough that the ground isn't froze. And so what they do, they get underneath the bank right at the water line, and they start digging like this, and they eat the roots from the bottom. So as the roots are growing down in there, they're digging the dirt away, and they're just eating. Well, if you do that, if you got hundreds of muskrats doing that for months, your bank is like this, and then normally it'd hit the water right there. Well, the muskrats dig away these big overhangs they create, and then those slough down into the creek. The creek gets wider, gets shallower, gets warmer, creates quite a few habitat issues. So anyhow, I'm gonna set one right near where I'm standing here. This has always been a good spot. So the muskrat's probably gonna come along this bank. So the stake is on the outer side, the trap is between the stake and the bank. Well, you wanna turn it slightly downstream. And so the muskrat, he's gonna see that or smell it, and he's gonna come right up here, and the trap's right there. He's gonna climb up on that platform to try to get that carrot. And when he does, got some bad news for him. Oh, look at that. There we go. Ah! Woo! Well, filled both boots right there, folks. Ah! Gosh, dang it. I'm so far in the muck there I can't get out, which is why you usually bring a trekking pole. Can't believe that. Amateur hour. Dang it, my mittens are just soaked. Well, everything's soaked. My pants. Can't believe that. Never fallen in this creek ever in my life in all the years of doing this. And the very first set of the very first morning, I've fallen a drink. You see this whole shelf right here? 3 years ago, that wasn't like that. That's all muskrats. Oh boy, that's a big old carrot right there. Woo, babies. Some people might ask what kind of traps these are that fit this platform. In the trapping world, they're called 1.5 coil springs. 1.5 describes the width of the jaws. One Christmas break in Minnesota, me and my uncle caught 600 of them. I got $5 to $6 a piece for them. Holy cow. You talk about a happy college student. That was me. Should I do it?
I don't know. Should you? Oh my god.
I've done it many times by accident. Guess I'd be dumb enough to do one on purpose.
That hurt? Like on a scale of 1 to 10?
No, 10 is pretty extreme.
Like 10's like broken bones.
Kind of like slamming your finger in a door, okay? You don't do it unless you want to show people how dumb you are. Usually I'd have more trap set than this, but just too much ice and snow. Can't get it all where I want to go right now. So, oh well. We'll catch enough for a meal.